Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Have you ever looked at a modern web app and just wondered, how in the world is that thing actually built? Well, today we're going under the hood of a real-world full-stack project straight from GitHub to show you exactly that. Let's get into it.
I mean, think about it. We use these things every single day, but the magic happening behind the screen can feel kind of like a mystery. This to-do app we're looking at is the perfect case study. Why? Because it's simple enough for us to wrap our heads around, but it's also complex enough to show off all the crucial pieces of a real full-stack application. We're going to see how the part you see and the part you don't work together.
Okay, so before we get our hands dirty with the code, let's pull back and get the bird's eye view. At its heart, what exactly is this project?
The best way to think about this is like a complete car. This repo isn't just a shiny paint job, and it's not just the engine. It's the entire vehicle, bumper to bumper. The front end is your dashboard, the steering wheel, everything you interact with. The back end, that's the engine, the transmission, all the powerful stuff under the hood making it all go. And you know the best part? It's all neatly organized in one single garage.
Speaking of that garage, let's talk about how this whole project is organized. The structure it uses is called a monorepo, and looking at it is kind of like getting a peek at the architect's original blueprint for the entire application.
So, what in the world is a monorepo? Just imagine a master toolbox where all your tools, for the front end, for the back end, for everything, are perfectly organized in their own labeled compartments. Why do this? Well, it's just incredibly efficient. It makes sharing code between different parts of the project a piece of cake. It streamlines updates, and it just makes managing the whole thing so much easier when it's all in one place.
Let's take a quick little tour of this file structure. See that apps folder? That's the main event. It's where the heart of the application, the front end and the back end, actually live. Then you've got the packages folder. Think of this like a shared library of tools and functions that both the front end and the back end can use. It's a really smart way to avoid writing the same code twice and helps keep everything nice and consistent.
Okay, theory is cool and all, but nothing beats actually seeing it work, right? So let's walk through how you can get this to-do app up and running on your own computer. This is where the fun starts.
First things first, let's do a quick tool check. You'll need Node.js and something called PNPM for the JavaScript front end, and then Python and pip to handle the back end. Now, if you've done any kind of web development before, chances are you already have all of this installed and ready to go.
And this, right here, is where you really see the power of that monorepo setup. Getting this entire app running is, well, it's kind of shockingly simple. You grab the code, you run one single command to install everything you need for both the front end and the back end, and then one more command to fire up the servers. That's it. It's that easy.
So, we know how to get it running. But what's actually powering this thing? Let's peel back the layers and look at the specific technologies that make this whole application tick.
At the heart of any web app, you've got these two fundamental pieces. On the left, the front end. That's the tip of the iceberg. It's everything you see and touch in your browser. And on the right, the back end. That's the massive part of the iceberg underneath the water, handling all the heavy lifting, like storing your data and managing the application's logic.
The front end is built on some seriously modern and powerful tech. Next.js, which is a fantastic framework for React, gives it its structure. TypeScript is used everywhere to make sure the code is solid and has fewer bugs. And for styling, it uses Tailwind CSS, which makes creating beautiful designs really fast. This is a top-tier, battle-tested setup for building a great user interface. And the backend? It's a serious powerhouse. It's built with Python, using this super fast framework called FastAPI. SQL Model gives it a clean way to work with data. And you see that JWT-based authentication? JWT stands for JSON Web Tokens. Basically, it's a super secure, modern way for the app to remember who you are without you having to type in your password over and over. And with support for a pro-level database like PostgreSQL, this backend is built to scale. All right, so by now you've got a pretty good handle on the architecture and the tech. And you might be thinking, hey, this is cool. How can I get involved? That's the beauty of open source projects like this one. It's a two-way street. You can learn a ton from them, and you can give back to the community.
This chart gives you a really quick snapshot of the project's DNA. As you can see, TypeScript is the big one here, making up over half the code. That's all for our Next.js front end. Then you see Python making a strong showing, which is, of course, our FastAPI backend. This gives you a great idea of what skills you'd be using if you wanted to contribute.
And if you do want to jump in and contribute, the process is very straightforward. It follows that classic open source workflow. You get the code, you make your awesome changes, you run the tests to make sure you didn't break anything, and then you submit your work for review. It's a fantastic way to learn.
Now, this might look like boring legal text, but it's actually really important. The ISC license is what we call a permissive open source license. What does that mean for you? It means you have a ton of freedom. You can use this code, copy it, change it, and even use it in your own commercial projects. It's all about encouraging collaboration and innovation.
So let's wrap this up. We've just taken a deep dive into a complete modern web application, from its high-level architecture all the way down to its tech stack. You've seen the blueprint, you understand the components. The only real limit now is your own imagination. They built a to-do list. The question is, what will you build?